Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove State of the City. I'm Dave Kiser from CCX Media. As you see, proudly joined by the Mayor, Mark Steffenson. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for letting me be here.
We have a chance to look back at 2021, and a lot happened in the city of Maple Grove. A couple special treats for you in this program. We're going to go out into Maple Grove and have a little update on business, and also later talk about the DMO. What is it? You'll find out in a few minutes. Mayor, let's start with a common theme for the city of Maple Grove. It has been growth. How has this past year continued on that trend in light of the pandemic and what's happened with COVID-19?
Well, I think that significantly in our city, over the last couple of years, we've continued to see significant growth in our community. We continue to see significant growth in the residential community, the industrial community, the commercial community. Quite frankly, our growth remains astounding, and we're very excited about it. In 2021, we received our census numbers from 2020. They showed a significant growth in our population. We're now up over 70,000 people. It was a 14% increase from what it was in 2010. And I think we're now the 7th largest city in the state of Minnesota. So we see significant growth. Another area of growth in our city is the employment base. And that's one that really we've worked very hard on. We're very excited about. It's expected that within the next 20 years we'll have over 50,000 jobs in the city. We see significant growth through expansions of employers that are already located in our city, and also by having new employers come to our city. We remain a premier location throughout the world for medical technology businesses, and that is shown by the continued expansion of Boston Scientific, the expansion of Upshur Smith. And we're constantly seeking to attract new businesses in that med tech area. They bring great jobs to our community, great businesses to our community. And so we want to continue to see that significant growth in our city. A good example of a new company that came to town is Pelican Biothermal. It brought over 150 of new med tech jobs to our city. And we're certainly working with other med tech businesses to have them come to our city in the next few years.
And again, as I mentioned, we'll hop out to the city shortly here to take a look out in the city itself and get a look at some of the business growth. Speaking of growth, where are some of the key areas within the city that you're experiencing the most growth?
Well, I think that we're seeing significant growth in what I'll call the northwest quadrant of the city. It's up there by the hospital. We're seeing from there to the northern boundary of Maple Grove, significant growth both in residential and in our commercial area. The new Minnesota Health Village, which is right in the area adjacent to the hospital, is seeing significant new multifamily growth. We know that we have significant new medical buildings coming in or being planned. We also know that the hospital is planning their significant expansion. And so we see that not only will that continue the expansion in that hospital area, but we're also going to see significant growth along Maple Grove Parkway and 105th Avenue North. We see multiple construction projects coming through our system, and I expect that will continue to see significant growth. The other real area that we see a lot of growth in is our gravel mining area. We have the Arbor Lakes Business Park that continues to expand and grow rapidly. We have the 4th building is expected to begin construction here this spring. We have another 60 acres that are coming forward with 5 additional buildings that will be upwards of 1 million square feet of new space. So between gravel mining area and the northwest area, we're going to see a significant amount of new jobs and new growth in our city.
And again, that supports a lot of the existing businesses and retail restaurants in the area as well. So I've been mentioning we're going to go out on location. Let's do it right now. We had a chance to catch up with Brett Angel, the Economic Development Manager, to find out a little bit more behind the scenes of what's happening in Maple Grove business. Take a look at this.
2021 was a year filled with continued challenges due to the pandemic, but also highlighted by significant growth within the community. The past year has shown the continued resilience of the business community and opportunities for continued growth and expansion. When looking at the market conditions, Maple Grove has shown strength in both the commercial and industrial marketplaces. Looking at the industrial market, the northwest area of the Twin Cities has been highlighted with many large businesses finding opportunities within the city. Maple Grove is a shining example of that, with industrial vacancy rates nearing an all-time low. This is thanks in large part due to the expansions of existing businesses within the community and the welcoming of many new businesses. A few industrial highlights from the past year include Upshur Smith, which is nearing the end of construction for their large expansion project, which will bring all of their U.S. operations into Maple Grove. Boston Scientific, which is currently constructing a 75,000 square foot expansion, which will double their manufacturing capacity. Zachary Distribution Center will be completing construction soon and has shown strong interest in the marketplace. Arbor Lakes Business Park's third edition is currently under construction with plans for additional buildings in the future. Park 81 is now home to Amazon in 2 buildings as a state-of-the-art sortation facility, and Mechatronic Solutions will be beginning construction on their new facility in the spring. On the commercial side of the market, the past year has shown that Maple Grove, serving as a retail and hospitality hub for the Northwest Metro, is a key driver in maintaining interest from new businesses. Over the past year, we have seen a trend in health-related businesses and service-oriented businesses wanting to be located within the city. This hasn't been all the city has seen, however, as we have also welcomed many new retail and hospitality businesses as well. The office market is one that has experienced some challenges, but that is not inclusive of all different office uses. The specialty medical office sector continues to grow and thrive within the community and is establishing Maple Grove as a healthcare destination. This is anchored by the Maple Grove Hospital, as companies want to locate near them, and will be further developed with the hospital expansion project. From a nationwide perspective, recruiting and retaining workforce is currently a challenge for businesses. With current low unemployment rates and seeing wages rising, businesses are taking creative approaches to retain their workers. From a city government perspective, the city will continue to work with the businesses and outside agencies like post-secondary institutions to help bridge the gap and ensure our businesses have the resources they need to grow. As we move into 2022 and beyond, city staff will continue to prioritize the retention of existing businesses, attraction of larger employers offering high wages, and supporting existing retail areas. And we will also seek to continue to attract unique businesses which are not currently within the market. Maple Grove remains a premier destination to locate a business, and with surrounding amenities and access, I feel very optimistic that 2022 will be a great year for the city.
Now, another item we've been hearing about is moving forward is the plan to renovate and expand the community center. Why is the city putting forward an investment plan for the community center?
Well, the community center is a location that's at the heart of our city. About 650,000 people a year visit the community center. It was built back in 1997, and it's a building that's starting to show its age. It needs some expansion. It needs some revitalization for it really to work today, and we simply have a significant amount of repairs that we need to do to the building. And so in a combination of those type of things and trying to sort of diversify the services and activities that we provide there, we decided that we needed to do some expansion and we needed to do some renovation.
And the surveys have been taken. According to a latest survey, 90% of Maple Grove residents believe it is a valuable item to have in the city, a community center. So what is the plan the city is proposing to the voters related to this project?
Well, first of all, we sort of have 2 different plans in place.
Okay.
We have proposed and we have sought to have a local option sales tax that would allow us to essentially have a $116 million plan to renovate and expand the existing Maple Grove Community Center. It would add or renovate about 312,000 square feet of space at the community center. And significantly what we would do is we'd have new swimming pools. We'd have more space for the senior programs that have greatly expanded over the last few years. Mm-hmm. Expanded event and banquet space that really, the city needs that for our community. More space for the arts, a walking track for people, a fitness center, a third sheet of ice, and infrastructure investments that need to be made to make the building whole. So in November in the election, we're going to ask the citizens to consider a half-cent a local option sales tax to finance approximately $90 million of the project.
Let's take a little bigger picture. How does the project align with the broader vision for downtown Maple Grove and in particular the Main Street area?
Sure. So along with the community center being 25 years old, the Main Street's now over 20 years old. And so we need to bring some renovation to that as well. And so we've met with the business owners and the property owners in that area to try and ask them and work with them to how we can bring, a collective improvement and value to that Main Street area. And so we've done a study and we examined ways to refresh that corridor And based on the input from the Main Street businesses and residents, we came up with a plan to resurface Main Street between Elm Creek Boulevard and Arbor Lakes Parkway that includes installing new sidewalks, new crosswalks, street and art benches, and trees and landscaping. And so it should work significantly better. It should be better for the businesses and better for the residences. And then we also have a plaza on the northeast corner of Arbor Lakes Parkway and Main Street that will be revitalized. And work will begin after Maple Grove Days in July, because we don't want it messed up for that.
Understand.
But it will then be done in the fall. And so that we're working, then also we have some vacant lots up what I'll call east of Lifetime at the northern end up by Weaver Lake Road that we're trying to figure out how we're going to use those properties as well. We have some different ideas, and hopefully they will come to fruition in the near future.
So the question might be, what happens next if the sales tax referendum is or is not approved? Paint that picture for us.
Well, if it's approved, then we'll be able to go forward sort of with our $116 million project. I think that that construction would probably begin in 2024 and continue on for a couple of years. It's a significant project. If the sales tax is not approved, then we're going to have to re-examine the plans. We won't be able to do that size of a project. The project will be more of a what I'll call a $60 million project to sort of address the necessary repairs and some improvements that we need to the infrastructure so that the mechanical systems work, the roof has to be replaced. There's a bunch of these type of renovation items that have to occur, and the reality is that that project, if the local option sales tax, as we've done the studies, will show that there'll be a much more significant impact on the local property tax owner, about $134 per year for the average homeowner versus something of about $38 a year if the local option sales tax passes. So there's a significant difference, and as your house value goes up, the differences become even greater.
A lot of information there passed along, and a lot of this information on the city's website, maplegrovemn.gov. You can find out more. Let's now shift to transportation. We love to talk transportation as we give regular updates. 2021 brought a significant project to I-94 corridor within the city. What was that project? How did it go? And how did it impact the city?
Well, we finally completed the project that is I-94 from the Fish Lake interchange, where 494, 694, and 94 come together, out to Rogers. It added lanes, it improved traffic flow, it added the Dayton Parkway interchange, and then we also were able to, because of that, get additional sound barriers in place. And so we now have the sound barriers going up. They have a nice logo on the wall of the city of Maple Grove, but it's nice to have those sound barriers, and it's really wonderful to have that corridor opened up the way it should be. It's really reduced the congestion. You can see that, you can feel that. It's improved safety. The safety is much better along the corridor, and it's increased the access for our residents to 94 because you have the new entrance and the rejuvenated entrances. So it's a great addition. It makes life simpler for our residents.
Let's hop over to Highway 610, talk about that for a moment. It's been another large transportation project for the city. Give us some updates. Where are we now? What are we looking forward to potentially?
Well, we're still working on 610. It seems like every year goes on, we still work on 610. But so what we have is the last thing that's left to be done is the interchange of 610 and 94. It isn't complete. The project is about $53 million. We have about $31 million of money that's dedicated to that interchange. We need to find an additional $22 million for that roadway. And what that roadway design and addition with the cloverleafs will really do is provide access to that 610 in a more fluid way, but also provide a roadway out to the west so that we'll have a better connection to the new residential areas that will be out west, and also to the communities like Corcoran, Dayton, out that way, so they have an easy way to get to the freeway as well. So we're looking forward, hopefully, at last, for that interchange to be done.
All right, as you see, a lot of exciting things happening in the city of Maple Grove. Mayor, stick right there because we're going to take a quick break here to change the set, add on a special guest. We're going to talk about something exciting in the city called the DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. What is it? How does it work? Stay with us. You'll find out more in a second. Welcome back to the 2021 State of the City presentation for the City of Maple Grove. The city has recently created what's called a DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. It's a strategic move for the city, and once again joined by the mayor to talk a little bit about this. And special guest is Anna Transky, the interim president of Experience Maple Grove. Welcome, Anna. Thanks for being with us. Let's start with you. Can you briefly describe what a Destination Marketing Organization is?
Yes, a destination marketing organization, or DMO, is really responsible for managing the brand of the community and the destination overall, and sharing that brand with a broader audience to help ensure we're bringing in the maximum number of visitors, but also making sure that locals and residents also are aware of what we have to offer within our community. It's really about managing a destination's reputation and really enhancing the visitor experience overall.
Mayor, in the past, how did the city partner with another organization to handle tourism and some of these type of activities?
So historically, we were a member of what was known then as Minneapolis Northwest. Essentially, it started out as a organization that encompassed 11 communities throughout the northwest suburbs. Some were on this side of the river, some were not. Eventually, we broke that into two parts, with it becoming a three-city entity of Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and Maple Grove. And then so throughout the last number of years, that's what the organizations consisted of, and that's how we've worked.
Why then did the city find it important to create this new organization and get to work on the DMO?
Well, I think that over a period of several years, we'd had discussions internally within the city about the fact that not only ourselves, but our stakeholders had really sort of expressed an interest of maybe we needed something more centered on simply Maple Grove and not sort of the northwest suburbs. So we wanted to look at that, and as a part of that, we gave notice to the organization that we were going to potentially leave, and during the last year we examined that possibility, whether it was to get back together with them or stay with them, form an organization with another city or two, or simply have our own organization. And as I said, we talked with the stakeholders of our group, whether it's the sports organizations, the hotels, everyone, and pretty much universally, they all said, no, it's time for Maple Grove to be by itself, to really focus on itself and really promote Maple Grove, its activities, its special events, its organizations, so that we can be focused on growing and making Maple Grove better.
So Anna, let's talk about the significance of the name, Experience Maple Grove. What does that bring to the community?
Well, it's a really dynamic invitation for visitors and residents to get out and really explore all of the unique amenities. And as the mayor stated, it's an opportunity to really maximize and capitalize on all of the attributes that Maple Grove has as its own community and really enhances its own identity.
Mayor, let's talk a little bit about the structure. People might want to know, how is this funded? How is this organization put together and structured? Help us with that.
So essentially it's funded through a 3% lodging tax. So when you stay in a hotel room in Maple Grove, 3% is added to your lodging bill for a tax, and that tax goes to this organization. The organization, we created sort of an internal department within the city to help this be run, but we also have a board of directors that oversees and runs it, along with Anna, who we're excited to have on board. Mm-hmm. And so what it is, it's really a 501c6 corporation, nonprofit, and we've established that board of directors to oversee it, and we're working to try and promote all the various things that are exciting about Maple Grove.
So Anna, the big question as we move into 2022 is, what are some of the initial priorities for Experience Maple Grove?
First and foremost, we are going through all of the logistics of getting an organization started from the ground up, and that's going along very smoothly in partnership with the city and input from the board of directors. So we will make our social media presence and our web presence a priority, as well as working with the established events that are here in Maple Grove and really working hard to bring in new and exciting events, tournaments, competitions, and meetings. So it's really a two-pronged approach, and we are really excited to get going.
Well, Anna, we're excited to have your expertise here in Maple Grove and the full group behind this. Thank you so much for joining us. And Mayor, let's close with a closing comment as we wrap up 2021, look ahead to 2022. What are your final thoughts?
You know, I think what my final thoughts are, we've been through a difficult couple of years, obviously, for everyone. COVID has changed lives, changed the way we do things. I think the good news is that we're coming out of COVID at last. We're seeing a decrease in the numbers of Omicron and all the other variants. And so I think that as we look forward, going forward, we know that our city has thrived during this last 2 years, and we're going to thrive going forward. We have significant new developments coming to town. We have significant new jobs. Our med tech industry is booming. Our residents can now enjoy life like they used to. So I think that we really ought to look forward to the summer, enjoy the summer, and realize that Maple Grove is on the right track.
Mayor, thank you so much for your time here and for the State of the City information. Anna, thank you as well for joining us. A lot of information passed along, so again, go to the city's website to find out more, maplegrovemn.gov. I'm Dave Kiser. Thanks for joining us.